humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to the class, Bhakti-sastri. We'll chant the Mangalachan prayers to begin. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamvitansha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurdushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Mancha Kalpatarorvyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we welcome you once again to Bhakti-sastri class. Today we are going to learn some basics of Sanskrit pronunciation. So this session is for those who have not attended it before. We presume that you might be not so fluent in pronunciation of Sanskrit. So therefore we take this session, one session, before the other studies of Bhakti-sastri begin, so that you can nicely chant Sanskrit, regardless of whichever verse or shloka we are trying to chant. So those who are from Indian origin, they'll not have so much of difficulty in learning this session. People born outside India might find a little bit challenging, but it's okay. It's not that difficult. So please pay attention. Today, the session is more of learning and practicing. And therefore, you'll have to be quite attentive, to be able to grasp what we are trying to present here. In the beginning, let's first of all try to understand something about the language, Sanskrit itself. And then we will go through some practice exercises. I'll be sharing some materials also in the WhatsApp group, which you can go through later on. So that talks about the different things in detail, what we discuss in the session today. Okay. So give me a second, please. I hope you are able to see the screen. Full screen mode. It's importance. So Srila Prabhupada, he talks about the importance of Sanskrit at different places. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, uh, he says in the purport 215.5, anyone serious about studying the Sanskrit language should first learn grammar. It is said that simply to finish studying Sanskrit grammar takes at least 12 years. But once one learns the grammatical rules and regulations very nicely, all other scriptures or subject matters in Sanskrit are extremely easy to understand. For Sanskrit, grammar is the gateway to education. Uh, of course, that is a very rigorous study. Learning Sanskrit grammar in itself is a big task. It takes many years, like Prabhupada said here, 12 years at least. But then it is worth also. Mm. I always share this during my Bhakti-sastri course that Srila Prabhupada, when he was studying in his college, he took three main subjects for his study. And those three subjects were English, economics, and Sanskrit. Mm. And because he understood Sanskrit so very well, and also he studied English as his main subject in the college, so he could do the service of translating the Sanskrit texts into English, and give it to the whole world. So Sanskrit is very important. In Vrindavan, we see so many devotees, they are learning Sanskrit, young boys, young girls, and it's difficult, but yes, it is worth the endeavor. If someone has so much time and so much patience and so much interest, then one can learn Sanskrit. But for our course, we don't need to understand it so much. We'll just need some basic pronunciation guidelines. Okay, let's read this also. Lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam uh, in Tokyo, April 23, 1972. Someone kindly raise your hand if you like to read this. Allah Tini Gopik Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Pranam. Samskrita means reformed Sanskrit language, Devanagari. The language is spoken in the higher planetary system, even in Vaikuntha. The language is spoken Devanagari. Devanagara, just like Tokyo in Japan, Nagara. Similarly, Nagara means city. And the city, just a minute, and the citizens are called Nagari. One who lives in the city, they are called Nagari. So Devanagari. These alphabets, letters, and called Devanagari. But in the cities of demigods, this language is spoken Devanagari. Lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 2.94-8, Tokyo, April 23, 1972. Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna. So it's a language spoken by the demigods or by the gods. Therefore, it is uh, s- presented in the script called Devanagari. Right? It's a language of the gods. So it's a very sacred language, a divine language. Mhm. The most perfect language. Someone kindly read this. Vardayani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The most perfect language. Yes, Sanskrit is spoken not only on Krishna Loka but also in higher planets of the demigods. It is called the language of God and the demigods. It was spoken it was spoken also on this planet when people were all godly. They used to speak in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the origin of all languages of the civilized peoples. It is most perfect, not only descriptive, the word Sanskrit means the most perfect because not a single word you can pronounce without having a bona fide principle. It is not like the English language, but put with irrational difference in pronunciation, no principles.
Yes. So Srila Prabhupada is giving us an example how Sanskrit is quite perfect. Actually, not quite perfect, completely perfect. That's why it is called Sanskrita. Sang means properly done, and Krita means done. So Sankrita, perfectly done. So he gave an example how in English, when you pronounce, there is so much of um, discrepancy, you know. But in Sanskrit, it's not like that. Every single akshara, syllable, is pronounced in the exact same manner, regardless of where it is used, which word it is used. So it's the same. So it's easy to learn, actually. Sanskrit isn't like that. Therefore, it is perfect. It isn't whimsical. English poetry has one line 1 inch long, next line 600 inches long. Sanskrit is not like that. There's strict principles and it is so beautiful. Therefore, in Sanskrit language, not an ordinary man can become a poet. In no other language of the world can be compared with it. No other language of the world is so perfect as Sanskrit. Any language near to Sanskrit language, like Bengali, is nearer to perfection. Sanskrit is pronounced same way, here or there. It is standard, right? So now Srila Prabhupada has some instructions on learning to pronounce it nicely. Letter to Pradyumna, April 5, 1970. Yes, Ritvicha Mataji, can you read this, please?
Learn to pronounce nicely. I was just thinking of teaching our students the pronunciation of the Sanskrit verses in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. And by Krishna's will, you have already begun this. It will be a great help for me if the students are taught to pronounce in Sanskrit vibration. It will be another effect of transcendental sound vibration. Letter to Pradyumna, April 5th, 1970.
Yes. So Srila Prabhupada is telling that it's nice if we can learn to pronounce properly. So he says it will be another effect of transcendental sound vibration. We know that this sacred sound which we produce when we chant Hare Krishna or we recite the verses of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. So that sound is non-different from Krishna. Krishna is coming in the form of Shabda Brahman, transcendental sound. So when that sound is properly uttered, that sound leaves an impression on our mind, on our intelligence, and on the soul itself. The more nicely we chant it or pronounce it, the more stronger impact it has on our consciousness. Therefore, you will hear some tapes of Srila Prabhupada. He's giving a lecture. In the beginning of the lecture, we all know that he would recite the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita 3 times, and people would follow him behind. So sometimes some devotees would make the mistake of uttering a particular word in an improper manner, wrong manner. But Srila Prabhupada would then correct them immediately. He would not say, it's okay, don't worry. But he would correct them that don't pronounce it like this, pronounce it like that. So, of course, we need to try our best sometimes because we are born in a country where we have learned a language which doesn't have all the syllables that exist in Sanskrit. It may be difficult for us to pronounce every single syllable. Like people born in Russia or people born in China, sometimes they cannot pronounce every single syllable that is there in Sanskrit, but that's okay. But if you can pronounce it well, then it is very, very helpful. Srila Prabhupada says it will be another effect of transcendental sound vibration. Interestingly, actually, when we study Bhagavad Gita, there in the austerity of speech, there is one limb mentioned, and that limb is recitation of Vedic scriptures. So that is called as an austerity, to recite Vedic scriptures. How is it an austerity? Because to recite the verses in the proper manner is a- is an act which requires a lot of attention. You have to look at every single syllable and then pronounce it exactly the way it is. You can't just blah 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 do something. You have to be accurate, and to be accurate, you have to be attentive, right? Isn't it? So that requires a lot of practice. So brahmanas sitting down and chanting mantras during yajna sacrifices, ceremonies, or any other rituals was not an easy job. If you can just sit and chant 30 minutes Bhagavad Gita verses, you'll notice that your mouth starts aching a bit. You'll have some pain in the mouth because you don't have a practice of speaking the verses, the Sanskrit verses for such a long time. And in Sanskrit, there are certain syllables which really make the tongue twist, and it's not easy. So it's a kind of a tapasya, an austerity, that you learn to pronounce every single akshara, syllable, the way it is. And that requires attention, that requires focus. That's needed. Okay, so how to pronounce, that is made easy by this system known as diacritic marks. Shilpad is talking about it. Let's read this. Sankarshan Vishnu Prabhu. Have to
You
unmute
can,
yourself.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, you can practice this discritic bar. English transliteration is there. It is not very difficult. Simply if you practice, twice, 4 times, it will come exactly the pronunciation. You have to learn the diacritic marks.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying that it just requires some practice. If you practice twice, thrice, 4 times, you'll come exactly the pronunciation. So you have to learn the diacritic marks. Now, what are diacritic marks? We'll learn them, but please make sure that you learn them nicely. I have seen that we conduct this session in the beginning of every time we teach Bhakti-sastri. And still, the devotees, when they're learning the shlokas or later on reading the book, they forget what the diacritic mark means, how you should be pronouncing that particular letter. So you should learn the diacritic marks, and how to pronounce them should be very nicely etched in your mind. Then how do you chant those particular syllables? Offer the best to Lord Krishna. Shweta Mataji, can you please read?
Of course, our spiritual subject matter is transcendental and therefore it remains potent despite mistakes in grammar, spelling, etc. But this type of translation may only be allowed if there is no other way to correct it. Then it is all right. But if you know the correct order, then you must make it perfect. That is our philosophy. Everything perfect for Krishna. Letter to Mandali Bhadra, January 20, 1972.
Yes. So this is a letter by Srila Prabhupada where he's telling that you offer the best to Krishna, therefore you should try your best that you can pronounce Sanskrit nicely. But even after you have tried many a times and still you're not able to do it perfectly or accurately or exactly, then it's okay because Krishna will accept our sincerity, our endeavor, our mood of devotion. But then he's saying we should nevertheless try our best that we can chant properly, chant nicely, attentively. Okay. So in the study of the Vedas, actually when a student went to the Gurukul to study the Vedas, before the Vedas were learned by the student, by the disciple, the student learned something known as Vedangas. Vedanga means Anga means limb. So Veda Anga means limb of Veda. It's a part of the Vedas which you need to know to learn the Vedas. It's just like when we studied English in our school days, we remember that we had two subjects for English. One was known as English grammar, and the other one was known as English literature, right? So the grammar was taught first, and then you were taught the literature. Because if you don't understand grammar properly, how will you understand the literature? It will be difficult to understand. So similarly, the Vedangas, they are taught first, and then you are taught the Sanskrit literature, which means the text, the Vedas, so that you understand the Vedas properly. Now, what are these Vedangas? Let us look at them individually. So the Vedangas, they are uh, 6 in number, and they are these. Let's read. one by one. So the first is called Siksha. What is Siksha? One of you please read. Aladini Gupta Mataji.
Phonetics, phonology, pronunciation. The auxiliary discipline has focused on the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, accent, quantity, stress, melody, and rules of euphonic combination of words during a Vedic recitation. Chandas, sorry, this is the next one.
Okay. So first is Siksha. Siksha means phonetics, also known as pronunciation, right? So this is something which we are going to learn today. It is focused on the pronunciation of the Sanskrit alphabet, the accent, the quantity, the stress, the melody, and the rules of combination. So we'll learn some of those things today. And then the next is Chanda. Chanda means prosody, or in very simple terms, you know that the way you put the syllables in a specific quantity in each pada. Again, we'll learn that in detail. So this is a discipline required for writing in poetic meters. Every book, Bhagavad Gita, is in chandas. There are three chandas used in Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam, there are multiple chandas. So any poem you write in Sanskrit, you write it as per the chanda. Hmm? It has to be specific, like that only. Like Prabhupada said, right? Not that one line has 6 inches long and the other is 600 inches long, like in English. No, it's specific count. The next is Vyakarana. What is Vyakarana? Grammar. Hmm? Antaranga Shakti Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna. Vyakarana, grammar and linguistic analysis. The auxiliary discipline has focused on the rules of grammar and linguistic analysis to establish the exact form of words and sentences to properly express ideas.
Yeah. So Bhakarana talks about grammar, word formation, using individual letters or syllables. So the grammar of that, you can't just whimsically add anything, any letter to another letter and make a word. So there's a rule for that. And then there's Nirukta, etymology. Uh, it is translated as dictionary. A single word may have multiple meanings, right? And in Sanskrit, we find that one word can have so many different meanings based on the context. So now, when you're reading a text and you come across a word, because that word can have multiple meanings, you need to really have a good understanding of nirukta to apply the right meaning there. Understanding? So that's called nirukta. If you read Prabhupada books attentively, sometimes he mentions also, according to this nirukta, then he explains this word is explained like this, so he's taking particular meaning in that context. So that's called nirukta. This auxiliary discipline has focused on linguistic analysis to help establish the proper meaning of the words given the context they are used in. The next is kalpa, ritual instructions. Someone please read this.
Kalpa ritual instructions. This field focused on standardizing procedures for Vedic ritual, rites of passage rituals associated with major life events such as births, wedding, death in family. Also discussing the personal conduct, proper duties of an individual in different stages of his life. Jyotisha,
Yeah.
astrology of astronomy.
Yes. Read
The,
that
this
line.
ends the auxiliary Vedic discipline focused on the timekeeping.
Yeah. So now, because most of the learning of Sanskrit you did was to later on perform sacrifices, yagyas. So therefore, you also need to know something about timekeeping, which means knowing, understanding time, which day you can do yagya, at what time you can do yagya, muhurta, basically. So understanding time, that is very important. Kalpa means some rituals. So once you knew these 6 things, then you become qualified to study the Vedas. First, you study the Vedangas, and then you study the Vedas. That was the procedure in the Gurukul. Fine. So now let us go to the pronunciation, which is Siksha. We'll look at Siksha first. Very simple. So now you can be a little more attentive than what you were during that reading part of the session. These are the vowels we know, hmm, as per English language. And in Sanskrit also we have vowels. So the vowels, uh, if you have learned Devanagari, then we know them are they are a, i, i, u, u, a, I, o, right? These are the vowels we learn in Hindi or Devanagari. So in English we have just five vowels: a, e, I, o, u. Hmm? But in Sanskrit we have more. So how do you represent them in Sanskrit? This is how you represent them. You can see there are some dots and dashes. So these are known as diacritic marks. Hmm. Fine. This is not just the only way of expressing Sanskrit in English. If you go to South India and you buy some of the books written by Sri Vaishnava Acharyas, which are in English, you'll find they use a different diacritic system. You know, so there are many different diacritic systems to translate or convert Sanskrit into English, and different people use different ways of doing it. So Srila Prabhupada adopted this one, which is a standard system, and we learn that system. So there are two types of vowels based on the time you spend in pronouncing the vowel, known as short and long. Okay, so the long takes double the time to pronounce than the short. That's why it's called long. Fine. Hmm? Short and long. The duration of pronunciation. So the short ones are also known as harsvaha, and the long one are also known as dirgaha. Harsvaha, they are four in number: a, i, ri, ri. Uh, is very easy. This one, the one you see written as a, that's a, and the one written as I is e, right? Now then you have another vowel which is written as R with a dot below. This comes where? In which word which we love very much? Where does it come?
Krishna.
Krishna, right? So, so you find it there. So it is R with a dot, and it is pronounced as Ri, right? So we say Krishna, right? So R, you can say R and I, Re, but it's not really Re, it is Re. Your tongue, later on you'll come to know more. So your tongue needs to touch. Your tongue needs to touch the upper palate, Re, or the lower palate. Then we have L with a dot. Now, this is a very less used vowel. Only you find it used in specific Vedic scriptures like the Rig Veda or the other Vedic text. You don't find it much in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll not practice this because it's not much chanted. It's basically chanted in, it comes in the Vedic text. So eh, eh, people who are from Maharashtra, born in Maharashtra, and you speak Marathi language, they are familiar with this vowel, right? It is something like ri, so you have ri, which is in Krishna. So in front of that ri, you add a la, so it becomes ri. Hmm? So that is very uncommonly used. Fine. And then you have the long vowels. The long vowels should take double the time as short vowels. So the first one was a. So then the next one, a with a dash, is pronounced as a, right? A, a. Hmm? Then there is e, and I with a dash should be pronounced as e. Hmm. Similarly, there's R with a dot that was pronounced as re. So the next one, which is R with a dot and a dash, should be pronounced as re, right? Then we have E that should not be pronounced as E, that should be pronounced as A. Hmm. Fine. If you know Devanagari, then this is this. A. Hmm. Then you have A and I. It's a long vowel. It should be pronounced as I. Then you have O, and then you have Ow. Fine. So you have short and long vowels. A, E, Ri, Ri, A, I, O, Ow. Okay. So now you know the vowels. Other than the vowels, there are consonants. You add two of them, that makes the basic syllables of the language. Fine. So now anyone wants to try just reading these out or chanting these, pronouncing these, the vowels, the short and the long ones. At least these should stick in your mind that if a particular letter is there with a diacritic, how you should be chanting it or pronouncing it. Yes, Allah Gopi Mataji.
Prabhuji, I'll try. I've never tried before, so I'll just try this. Sorry if I go wrong anywhere. A, E, Ri, L. A, I, O, Ow.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Abhay Sinha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. A, A, E, Ri, A, I, O.
Yeah, thank you. Sharada Mataji.
A, E, Ri, L, A, I, O.
Shweta Mataji.
A, E, Ri, A, I, O.
A.
Someone else wants to try? You don't have to be shy or hesitant because, as we said, we are not trying to here become Sanskrit experts. We just want to learn something so that when we chant the verses, we can chant them properly. Priyanka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. A, E, Ri, L, A, I, O.
Okay. Hari Kripa Prabhu.
A, E, R, L, A, I, O.
It's A, I, O, Ow. Rutvija Mataji.
Short ones are like A, E, Ri. Long ones are A, E, Ri, A, I, O, Ow.
Okay. Vardhayani Mataji.
A, E, Ri, L, A, I, O.
Yes, Sankarshan Vishnu Prabhu. Sankarshan Vishnu Prabhu, you have to unmute yourself, please.
A, E, Ri, E, I, O.
Yes, Sanjay Mishra Prabhu.
A, E, Ri, A, I, O.
A, I, O, Ow. Yes. Anyone else? Sita Mataji.
A, E, Ri, ri, ril, a, I, o, ow.
Okay, fine. One more person raised hands. Kavita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. A, I, Ri, L, I, O, Au.
Okay. Thank you. So these are the vowels. Now let's go to consonants, also known as Vyanjana. So these are divided into 5 sections or 5 parts. Ka varga, cha varga, ta varga, ta varga, pa varga. Varga means group. So first is the group that begins with ka. Second is the group that begins with cha. Third is the group that begins with ta. Fourth is the group that begins with ta. Fifth is the group that begins with pa. Okay, that's why it's known as ka varga, cha varga, ta varga, ta varga, pa varga. Have you come across this term called pa varga in Prabhupada books? If not, you can be more attentive next time when you read the books, and you'll find that Prabhupada uses this word called pa varga, right? And then he then says pa, fa, ba, bha, ma, right? So he says pa means parishrama, labor. Labor means hard work. Then pa, fena, foam in the mouth, right? In this way, he explains each of these letters. So these are consonants from Devanagari. The first one is ka varga. How do you pronounce each one of them? Ka. The first one is ka, right? Just like you have K in English. So it's a ka. And the next one is kha. You have more emphasis on it. More strength is added to it. Kha. So there's ka and kha. Then there is ga, gha, and then there is nya. Fine. So now these sounds, they are produced from different parts of the mouth. Okay. It's said that when you're pronouncing a Sanskrit alphabet, your tongue, it has to touch different parts of the mouth, and then a particular sound is pronounced. So when you are not touching the tongue to any part in the mouth, and it's only an air coming out from your mouth. So that is the first column. Like you say ka. When you say ka, the tongue is not touching anywhere. You can experiencing it yourself. Say ka. So you say ka, the tongue is not touching anywhere. Right? So that sound is coming right from inside. Ka. Similarly, go to the next below it. Cha, cha, cha. Right? Then ta, ta, and pa. So if you go down, what do you see? That the tongue is changing its position. When you said ka, the sound was coming right from beneath. Your tongue is not touching. But when you're saying cha, cha, the tongue is touching somewhere. Where is it touching? When you say cha, where is the tongue touching? Say cha, where
Upper
is it
palate.
touching? Upper palate? Exactly the upper palate? The middle of the upper palate or the back of the upper palate?
Front
Exactly
of
in
the upper
front.
Front
so
of the palate.
When you're
tip of
saying
the
cha,
upper
cha,
palate. Tip of the upper palate.
when you're saying
Sure.
cha, cha, where is it touching? It's touching the back of the upper palate. Cha, cha, right? Then when you say ta, ta, then it is touching right middle of the upper palate. Ta. isn't it? Ta. Then it is hitting on the middle of the upper palate. Ta. Hmm? Then when you sing ta, ta, then it is touching the upper teeth. Say ta, ta, it's touching the upper teeth. And when you say pa, then your lips, they touch with each other. Pa, pa, right? You got? So these 5 sounds are produced from 5 different portions of the mouth. Hmm. Now, all the first in the ka varga, all that sound is coming from inside. Puff of air is coming out. Ka, kha, ga, ghang. Hmm? Ka, kha, ga, ghang. Fine. So when you pronounce this 5th one and with a dot above that, actually it's very difficult to pronounce this syllable in itself. It is always pronounced in conjunction with another syllable. I'll give you an example. How many of you have been to India? If you're born outside India, you've been to India. And how many of you born outside India been to India? Very good. And those who are born outside India and also those who have been to India, how many of you been to Navadvip, Mayapur? Okay. So which river flows there where we go to take bath? Commonly known as
Ganga.
Ganga. So now when you say Ganga, say Ganga, say Ganga. Don't be shy. If you take the name of this river, you become purified. Say Ganga,
Ganga.
Ganga. So you see,
Ganga.
Ganga, Ganga, right?
Ganga.
So if you look at this word in the book given by Srila Prabhupada, you'll find this Ganga, this N there, has a dot on top of it. Have you seen? Ganga. Now, that N, do we pronounce it as Ganaga? No, we say Ganga, right? So that sound of N, it is different from Na. It is a sound coming from your throat, Ganga, right? Touch your throat and you can feel it, Ganga. It is coming from here, Ganga, right? Ganga, right? So that N with a dot comes with a G after it, isn't it? How do you spell Ganga? Ganga, right? So Ganga. So that N is not alone. It is coming with another consonant, which is Ga, Ganga. And that's how it is pronounced properly. Right? Ganga. Okay, so that's the N, the first N. There are 3 types of N. So that's the first one. Ka, kha, ga, ghanga. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Which is pronounced with some other consonant together with it, like Ganga. Fine. Let's go to the next one. And then there's another one which is at the end. Ha. H-A is ha. Next one. Cha. C-A is not, it's not ka, like C-A-T, cat. It's not ka. It's cha, right? Cha. Like you have chair, C-H-A-I-R, chair. So it's like cha, C-A is cha. And C-H-A is cha. Cha. Then there is J-A, ja, like you have jar. So ja. And J-H-A is jha. And then there is N with a tilde sign on top of it. Now this is another type of na, right? So we have 4 actually. So this also doesn't come alone. It comes with some other consonant. Have you seen this before? This kind of N with a tilde in some Sanskrit word. Can you give an example? Which word have you seen it before?
Gyan.
Gyan. Very good. Thank you. So how do you pronounce spell that? J, then you say N, then A, then you say N, and then you say A, and then there is a till on top of it, and there is right? Gyan. Correct. So this is again coming with a consonant. What is that? J or J? Gyan. Fine. Then you have Ya. Ya is Ya. And then these three shas, we'll deal with them later. Then you have Ta, T, A, T with a dot below is called Ta. Like you have tattoo. So Ta, the, tub, right? Tap, Ta. Then there is T, H, A, and dot below is called Tha, thug. You said thug in English, thug, Tha. Then D with a dot is called Da, Da for Damru, right? And then there is Dha, D-H, Dholak, Dha. Then there is N with a dot below. So this is written in Sanskrit like this. This also comes very commonly in the word we love the most, Krishna, right? So now this is not pronounced as na, it is pronounced as na, right? When you say na, your tongue should hit the middle of the upper palate. Na, na, na. So it's called Krishna, right? Krishna. Fine. So it's different from normal na. It's na, Krishna, Krishna, right? And there is ra, R-A, and there is S with a dot below. So we'll pronounce that later. This is called Pet Katasha. This is called Dantas. So these are different shas. Then there is the ta varga. Ta, tha, da, dha, and normal na, la, sa, and finally it's pa. And the next is, what is the next one? THA. How do you pronounce that as?
Ho.
It's not fur. It's not fur. It is fur.
Oh,
Not fur. It is fur. There's a difference between fur and fur, right? In English, we don't have fur. In English, we have fur, like flower, like fool, right? But in Hindi, it is fur, or Sanskrit, it is fur, right? So in Sanskrit, when you have to call a flower, you say no, you don't say fool, you say fool, right? Fool. So it's pha. Then there is ba, ha, ma, va. Fine. Now let's look at these three sas. One is in cha varga, one is in ta varga, one is in ta varga. This one will have the tongue touching somewhere else. This one will have a tongue touching somewhere else. This will have a tongue touching nowhere. Or it will be touching the upper teeth. So how do you say this, the last one? It's very easy. You say sir, 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 sir. The tongue should touch the upper teeth. Sir, 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 sir. Right? Now just take the tongue little backward and make it touch the upper middle palate, middle of the upper palate. Says your tongue should touch the upper palate in the middle, and then you say sha, sha, sha. Means it's like that sound is not coming out very, freely because you're blocking. Sha, sha, sha. So that is S with a dot below, which is used in Krishna, Krishna, right? And then you have S, which with which is chanted with the tongue touching the back of the upper palate. Sha, 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 right? So you have sha, sha, sa, three kinds of shas. Okay. So these are the consonants in Sanskrit. Hmm. So I'll just chant them once more. Ka, kha, ga, ghanga, ha, cha, cha, ja, cha, nya, ya, sha, ta, tha, da, dha, na, ra, sha, ta, tha, da, dha, na, la, sa, pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, va. These are the consonants. Okay, anyone wants to try once or twice? Please recite each of these letters. Then you are done with the consonants and vowels. Then we can go to the single words. Sharada Mataji.
Ka, kha, ga, gha, nya.
It's
Cha,
not nya,
cha,
it's
yeah.
anga. It's anga.
Nga.
Yeah, the sound
Nga.
should come from the throat, right? It not be a very distinct, clear sound because it cannot be pronounced alone. It needs some other consonant with it. But still, that sound should be coming from the throat. Anga.
Nga.
Hmm?
Nga. Yeah. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. Nya. Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Ya, sha.
It's
Ta,
not ya, it's ya.
ya. Ya, sha.
Hmm.
Ta, tha, da, dha, na, ra, sha. Ta, tha, da, dha, na, la, sa.
Hmm.
Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, va.
It's not pa, it is pa.
Pa.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Kripa Prabhu.
Ka, ka, ga, ga, na.
No, it's
Ha,
not ka. It's not ka, Prabhu. The A does not have a dash on top of it. So you have to say ka,
ka, ka,
right?
ka,
Ka, ka, kha.
ka, ka, ga, ga,
It's not ga, it's ga.
ga.
Ka,
Cha,
kha, ga, gha. Say gha, right? A lot of sound should be there, and there should be some hoarsity in your voice. Gha. Right.
yeah, yes, Prabhu. Ka, ga, ga, nya. Ha, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ya, sa. Ta, ta, da, da, na, ra, sa. Ta, ta, da, da, na, la, sha. Pa, pa, ba, ba, ma, va.
Okay. So fine, you'll have to practice a little more, right? Next. Soham Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Ka, kha, ga, bha, nya.
It's not
Cha,
nya. That's the second one. It's ang.
nya.
Hmm.
Cha, cha, ja, jha, nya, ya, sa. Ta, tha, da, dha, na, ra, sha. Ta, tha, da, dha, na, la, sa. Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, va.
Okay, Shweta Mataji.
Uh, K, K, G, G, N. Cha, Tha, Jah, Jh, Jh, Nya, Ya, Sha. Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na, Ra, Sha. Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na, La, Sa. Pa,
Is
Fa.
the, the, right?
Huh?
The, the. Mm. The.
Ta, Ta, Tha,
Mm.
Da, Dha,
It's not
Na,
the, it is the. The for Damodara. The,
La, Na, La,
the.
Sa.
Mm.
Pa, Fa, Ba, Bha, Ma, Va.
It's again not fur, it is pha,
Fa, Fa,
not fur, pha,
Fa.
right? There's a difference between fur and pha. Mm. Fur is like flower. Pha, it's pool, pha. So there's a stark difference between these two. But because we are so used to English language, we have forgotten pha actually. It's pha. Mm.
Ha,
Fine. Yeah, pha. Right.
Ha.
It's different from F in English. It's not F in English, right? It's pha. Rutvija Mataji.
Ka, ha, ga, ha, ana. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ya, sha, ta, ha, da, ha, na, ra, sha, ta,
And
ha, da, dha, na, la, sa, pa, ha, ba, bha, ma, va.
okay. So like we are practicing now, and as you, I mean, you can understand that you're taking some time to learn, right? Though you have studied all this in your childhood days, but still you're taking some time to learn. So I'll be sending some of these sheets to you, the PDFs, and you can take out some time to go through them. I'm not explaining every single thing mentioned in the sheet here in the class today now, but you can go through them later on at your own free time. It's nice, some little basic knowledge about Sanskrit letters. And then what you can do is, if I get, I'll share in the group. I'll share some video on from YouTube, which will help you practice recitation of these letters. If you recite them 5 times, 10 times, then your pronunciation will become more accurate. If it's not accurate, if it's accurate, then well and good. But if it's not, so you can go through these documents later on. I'll be sharing in the group. Fine, Vardhani Mataji.
Ka, kha, ga, gha, ang, ha, cha, cha,
Not
ja,
ha,
jha,
it's ha, ha.
a, ha, cha, cha, ja, jha, nya, gya, sha, ta, ta, tha, da, dha, ana, ra, sha, ta, tha, da, dha, na, la, sa, pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, va.
Yeah, so it's not pa, it's not ha. It is pa,
Pa,
ha.
pa, pa.
We'll add ha only when there is a dash on top of a, right? If there's no dash there, we don't add that ah. So we say pa, akara, right? Fine, Antaranga Shakti Mataji.
K, K, G, Gh, N, H, Ch, छ, ज, झ, न्य, य, श, ट, ठ, ड, ढ, न, र, श,
Ana,
त,
ana.
ण, ण,
Hmm.
ण, र, श, त, थ, द, ध, न, ल, स, प, फ, sorry, प, फ, ब, भ, म, व.
Okay, so fine, thank you. Now I'll be sharing these PDFs with you later on in the group. So you please go through them, like this one, letters and sounds. First you go through this, letters and sounds. Okay. Hmm. And then after that you go to this pronunciation chart. Hmm. And then there are two more PDFs I'll be sending. So before we come for the next class on next Saturday, in these 5 days, you can go through these sheets. And if you have any doubt, you can ask in the next class. Fine. All right. Is that clear? Letters and sounds. Now then there are some more letters which don't come as the consonants and they don't come as the vowels. Two of them are very important. What are they? So that is here in this PDF. They are known as Anusvara and Visarga. Excuse me. Anusvara and Visarga. So you see very often in English text, there is an M with a dot below, right? We already learned an M without a dot, like here. We already know there is an M and this M does not have a dot, right? This M does not have a dot. But then here is an M which has a dot. So that M with a dot is known as Anusvara, right? Yes, I'm sorry, mistake. So this M with a dot is called Anusvara. No? M with a dot. And there is an H with a dot. So that is known as Visarga. Fine. Huh? So how do you chant this M with a dot? This is, it is not pronounced as Ma. If there is normal M without a dot, it will be pronounced as Ma. But if there is an M with a dot below, then it's not pronounced as Ma, right? I'll give you an example. Like, for example, there is this word, uh, sorry. Now, if let's say this word is like this, how will you pronounce this word?
Govindam.
Govindam,
Govindam.
right? Govindam. Hmm? And if I put a dot below,
Govindam.
same,
Dam. Dam.
same? No, not same. When you have
Govindam.
put a dot below, then it has become an Anuswara. So what should happen is that sound of M, it should come as a humming sound, the sound that B produces from your mouth, right? So it will become Govindam, right? So that there is just a vibration coming from the throat, Govindam. It's not Govindam. When you say Govindam, you see the lips, they touch close. Govindam. But when you say Govindam, you see the mouth is open and the air is coming out. So where is that sound coming from? It's a sound coming from the nose, from the throat through the nose. Govindang. So this sound of M with a dot is produced from the nose. Hmm. And this comes many times in Sanskrit. M with a dot, known as Anusvara. Fine. Some words are given here as example. Like you see here.
Even
Sheep.
Sanskrit is pronounced like that. Even Sanskrit.
Sorry?
Even Sanskrit is written like that. M with a dot.
Yeah, so it's Sanskrita. Sanskrita. It's not Samskrita. If you say Samskrita, then you see M Samskrita, then your lips are touching Samskrita. You say Sanskrita, Sanskrita. So that sound is coming from your nose. It's a nasal sound. Sanskrita. Sanskrita. Hmm? So you have many words in Sanskrit which have M as a dot, like angshu. Say angshu, angshu. It's not amshu. It is angshu. Fine. And then there is H with a dot. That is known as Visarga. So this is like an ending sound added to the word. So example here. You have here Visarga. Example Ramah with a dot below. So this will be pronounced as Ramaha. Hmm. Okay, but then now you may ask, we already have an edge without a dot, and that also is her, and this is also her. So what is the difference? Right? There's no difference in pronunciation. The difference is that her is twice the length of pronunciation as this Anuswara, H with a dot. So you can say this H with a dot is a her for a half period of time. Right? So it will be Ramaha. Rama. You are just ending there with a short ha. Fine. Ramaha, Ramehi, Harihi, Harehe, Guruho. Now, a very interesting thing about this Anuswara is it's very important to learn. It precedes, there is a preceding vowel before, right? Before the Anuswara, there is a vowel. And after the Anuswara, the sound of that vowel should be taken again. Like, for example, here, before this Anuswara, you see here, what is the vowel? Hmm? Before this Anuswara, what is the vowel? Hmm? Before this Anuswara, which is the vowel? I. Right? Before this Anuswara, what is the vowel? E. Correct? Are you all getting it?
Prabhuji, this is Visarg or this is Visarg.
Sorry, Visarga. Sorry. Visarga. So before the Visarga, you have A, E, I, and then before this Visarga, next example of Visarga, you have A, right? E should be pronounced as A, right? And then you have U, right? So how do you pronounce it? It will be Ramaha, the first one. The second will be Ramaha. See, Ramaha. After the Visarga, you again pronounce the preceding vowel for a short duration of time. Then next is Ramehi, Harihi, Harehe, Guruho. Okay. Understood? So these are very fine details of how the pronunciation should be. Got it?
Prabhuji, like in for Anusara we say in English we say Narsimha. So,
For it will be Narsingha, Narsingha. That sound should be coming from the nose. It's not Narsimha. Narsimha. No. It's Narsingha.
Narsingha.
You
Narsingha.
see, when you say Narsinga, the sound is coming from your nose and your mouth remains open. It doesn't close.
Okay.
But when you say Narsimha, then the mouth gets closed.
Narsimha. So Prabhuji, Narsimha is wrong.
Narsimha is wrong. It's Narsimha. Right? Okay. Now this Visarga is done. You understood the Visargas? Ramaha, Ramaha, Ramehi, Harihi, Harehe, Guroho. Clear? Okay. Then the next is last thing to understand, Halantaha, which means half consonant. Right? Like for example, if there are two ways. One is you say K, Ka, and then you just say K. So Ka is K. But in the K, if you remove the A, then it's like half K. Generally, you will not come across such letters, but sometimes you come. So that should be pronounced for half the time. Like for example, K is taking a specific duration of time for pronunciation. So when there is no A and there is only K, then it should be pronounced for half the time. But it's difficult to do that. I mean, you always need an A to make the sound complete, the chant complete, right? But sometimes it's not there. So it should be pronounced half the time. So wherever it ends with just a half consonant, not the complete, then in Sanskrit it's called Halanta. If you use the Devanagari script, then you'll see that below the letter there is a kind of a cut, like here. There's a cut below the letter. Okay, so when some words come like that, we will see how we can pronounce them. Fine, so this is the end of all the letters that we need for pronunciation, better pronunciation. Let's go to the main file for practice. Any questions you have so far, whatever we discussed? Is it difficult? Very difficult? I don't think so. It should be very difficult. Maybe we just need some practice. Sita Mataji, do you have a question?
Prabhu, there's the word Kshatriya that starts with letter K. How is that pronounced?
Very good. So now you see some special sounds are formed by combining 2 or 3 consonants. So those are known as conjunct consonants. Conjunct means you join them. Like an example is here. You gave the example of Kshatriya. I'll give some more examples. Like, we'll come across here in the practice. But still. So there is this is one. Then there is this one where you have a till on top of it. Right? So then these are called conjunct consonants. And you then pronounce them a little differently. So this with K S H. In Sanskrit, it is written like this. So it's called ksha. You know, you have to. It's not sh. You have to use a little bit of K, and then you have to use S at ksha. So is it Kshatriya? Kshatriya, right? Now, if you are coming from very pure Sanskrit background, you'll be able to pronounce it nicely. But like people coming from Bengali background, they will not pronounce it like that. They will say Khatriya. Uh, you know, so it now it depends on where you are born, how you pronounce it. Bengalis, they'll pronounce it Khatriya. Like Srila Prabhupada used to say, Khirodakshay Vishnu, right? Khirodakshay, but actually it is Shirodakshay Vishnu. If you look at the proper Sanskrit, yeah, Shirodakshay Vishnu, right? But Prabhupada used to say Khirodakshay Vishnu. Mm. So that's Bengali accent. So this is how you say Kshatriya. Yeah. So little bit of K before you say before you say Sha. Sorry, Kshatriya. Fine. So these are called conjunct consonants, and many of them do come in our pronunciation. Like you have here so many examples of conjunct consonants, like you see here. This is a conjunct consonant. This is the conjunct consonant. Again, this is a conjunct consonant. So you see so many examples of conjunct consonants. All right. So now let's look at these words, individual words, and see if we can pronounce them properly. The first is Rama. Very easy, right? It will be nice if you can recite after me, and then I'll ask you to recite some of these words. So the first is Rama. The next is Rama. Right? We are, we are not saying ah because there is no dash on the A. So it's Rama, right? Rama. Then there is the third one, which is Rama, right? So makes a difference. And then the fourth one is Rama, right? Isn't it? Huh? Now, very interesting. All these have different meanings. Rama is the name of Mother Lakshmi, right? Ram or Rama is the Lord Ramachandra, isn't it? Right? When you say Rama, so that comes in the Ramana. Ramana means to play, to enjoy. So if you just change little bit here and there, the word changes, the meaning changes. So here is Rama, 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 and the fifth one, how do you pronounce?
Ram.
Ram. The M ends abruptly. Ram.
So that
Right?
is Halanta, Prabhuji, right?
That's Halanta. You see, you end there. Ram. M without a vowel A or A. Ram. So this Ram is different from Rama. Okay. So when we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, it is not Hare Ram, Ram Ram. It's Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Fine. So it's not Hare Ram, Hare Ram. It's Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So you understand these differences? The 5 types of Ram here.
Hare Krishna, sorry Prabhu to interrupt you. I have a question. So it's different, like in how you say in Hindi. When we say in Hindi, it's Ram. You know, it's they don't
No,
have.
it's not different. You see, in Hindi, we have seen the Devanagari script. That's Hindi itself, right? So when you say Rama, there's no halant there. And if you look at
Okay,
the fifth one, there is a halant there.
okay. So it is a mispronunciation of the word because I have heard that being said a lot
Ah,
by people who are from
yeah,
so Ram.
mispronunciation. So if you are reading Hindi text, so you'll not come across this word. Mostly
No,
you'll come across this word, right?
Ram, Rama.
So how
Yeah,
do you pronounce that? You pronounce as Rama,
Rama. Okay,
correct? And
okay.
in Sanskrit, it will pronounce, it is very clear. Rama, there's A here, so it's Rama. Hmm?
Okay.
But when you have M with a halant, so then there is an abrupt end of the sound. Ram.
So what does Ram mean?
Here, Ram can mean anything. We are not looking at the meaning of
Here.
the word here. What
Okay.
here we are giving that word just to tell you the difference between M with a halant and no halant,
Okay.
right? To make us understand the mistake we do in pronunciation sometimes. Mhm. So if you are saying Ram, if you are saying Ram, then you are actually pronouncing this word. You are not pronouncing this word. If you have to pronounce this word, which is there in the Maha Mantra, then it is Rama. Okay. So once there's one person, Indian, very famous celebrity and actor. He comes from Hindi background. So he was saying that these people from the Western countries, when they pronounce the Sanskrit words, they don't pronounce it properly. So he was saying actually it is not dharma, it is dharm. It's not dharm, it is dharma only. Hmm. It's not dharm, it is dharma only. M with a akara. So it is dharma. Hmm. There's no word like dharm. Hmm. If you see Hindi, if you write the proper Sanskrit, there's no word like dharm. It is dharma. Hmm. M, complete M, not an M with a halanta. Okay, so we have to note this is a very small, tiny thing, but that's the difference. Now, next, let's go to the next line. So I'll recite these words, and then I'll ask you to go for the third and the fourth. So the first word is Eva. Eva, right? The next word is Eva. Third, Iti. Fourth, Eva. Fifth, Isha. Sixth, Sita. Seventh, Upa. Eighth, Upa. हाँ, Janaki. This Sayujya. Okay, fine, done. Okay, so now the third row. So someone say the first word in the third row.
Rishabhdeva.
Uh-huh.
Rishabhdeva. Rishabhdeva.
Please come again.
It's Rishabhdeva.
Ri Shabha Deva.
Deva.
Right, so Rishabha Deva. Okay, very good. Next, Priyanka Mataji, the next word.
Partha.
No, it's not Partha. It's not Partha. This word.
Pritha.
Not Partha. What is the word, Priyanka Mataji?
Pritha.
Pratha.
Mm. No. You
Pritha.
see, whenever we are making the word pronunciation, we should pronounce every single letter which is there in the word. And that's how we should form the sound in our mind. So there's P, pa. After that, there is Ri,
With P.
Pri,
Pri.
Pri. And there is TH. TH is pronounced as
Th.
Tha, Tha,
Th.
Tha. And then there is A with a dash, which is A.
Ah.
It is Pritha,
Pritha.
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 Okay, Pritha. Is the name of Mother Kunti. Another name of Kunti, Pritha. And then from Pritha came the word Partha, which is the name of Arjuna. Okay, so next word, Radhika Leela Mataji.
Pandu.
Yeah, so the next word is Pandu. Next word, Sharada Mataji.
Prishni Garbha.
Please come again.
Prishni Garbha.
It's not Gha. Prishni?
Garbha.
So it is Prishni Garbha.
Prishni Garbha.
Very good. Next, Antaranga Shakti.
Vaikuntha.
Not Tha.
Vaikuntha.
It is Vaikuntha. Right?
Vaikuntha.
And Vardayani Mataji.
Sudhama. Sudhama.
Yeah. Sudhama.
Sudhama.
Next, Aladani Gopika. Gopi Mata. Next row.
Airavata.
So it is I. It's not A. Airavata.
Airavata.
Next, Sanjay Mishra. Prabhu.
Vaisakhi.
It is Vaya. Vaya.
Aki.
No, Vaya.
Saki.
There's no dash after A, after S. So it is Vaya Saki. Right?
Vaisakhi.
Vaya Saki. See, if you pronounce the letters properly, that word sounds very sweet. If you can actually pronounce the word the way it is. Yeah? So Vaya Saki. The next word, Sarveshwar Jagannath Prabhu. There is M with a dot on top of it.
It is Draupadi.
Yes. No, okay, that fine. That is Draupadi.
Then
Please
it is
recite again what it is.
Draupadi.
It is Draupadi. Padi. Yeah, not Draupadi. Draupadi.
Draupadi.
Okay, next word. How do you pronounce this with M with a dot on top?
Hamsa.
Again?
Hamsa.
So it's not Hamsa, right?
Hamsa.
Not M. It's not M. So your lips should not touch. So it is Hangsa. Hangsa. Hangsa, right? So the sound is coming from your nose. Hangsa. Fine. Next. Radhika Leela. The next word.
Kansari.
Yeah, so it's not Kamsari. It is Kansari. Kansari. Kansari means the enemy of Kansa. Okay, the next word. Someone else, please try. Those who have not trying, please try. The next word. What is the next word? How do you pronounce it?
Heat.
How do you pronounce the next word? Nirupama Mataji, how do you pronounce the next word?
I'll try, Prabhuji. Gita.
No. It is not. It's not Kita. It is Kita. See, it is I with a dash, which means long I. So it's a Kita. Kita means insect, right? Kita. Fine. So then now we are done with the words. Words are called in Sanskrit as pada, padani. Next, some more words. So let's do it quickly now. Please don't become lazy. Uh, Raise your hand and then you speak these words. So first, who will say the first word? Aladini Gopinath.
Ramah.
Ramaha. Very good. Sharada.
Harihi.
Next, Antaranga Matra.
Vadhuhu.
Very good. So it is Vadhuhu, right? Hmm? Hmm. Next, Nirupama Mataji.
Hare.
Harehe.
Hare.
Hmm? Harehe, right? Radhika Leela Mataji.
Guruhu.
Yeah, Guroho. Next, Rutvijama.
Gauha.
No, it is Gauho. Gauho. Hmm? Right? Priyanka Mataji. Next.
Gaurang.
So Gaurang. So you see N with a dot on top of it. Same as it comes in Ganga. So it is Gauranga. Hmm?
Gauranga.
Next, Sita Mataji.
Pankha Ambaha.
Yep. So Ambha is correct. And the previous one is Panka. So
Panka.
Panka. Panka. Right?
Panka.
Not Ha. It's Panka. It's K only. But just that before that K, there is a sound of Ang coming from the throat. Panka. Panka means mud. So Panka Ambha. Hmm? Next, Sarveshwar Jagannath Prabhu. Next.
Muchukunda. Muchukunda.
Mukunda.
Very good.
Mukunda, no?
No, it's not Mukunda, it's Muchukunda.
Muchukunda.
There is C there, so it's Muchukunda. Huh?
That is
Next,
Dhananjaya.
Dhananjaya. Very good. Next, Kavita Mataji.
It's a Pundarika.
Yeah, it's Pundarika.
Pundarika.
Hmm? Okay, next, Vardhani Mataji.
Lanka. Lanka.
Yeah,
Lanka.
Lanka. Shweta Mataji.
Vibhishana.
Vibhishana. Say,
Vibhishana.
Vibhishana. Hmm?
Vibhishana.
Yeah, Soham Prabhu.
Dadhichi.
It's not Da, it is not Da,
The
it is
the
the
Dadichi.
the Chi.
Dadichi.
Dadhichi.
Dadichi.
Hmm. Next, Eka Prema Mataji. You raised your hand, Eka Prema Mataji.
Yes,
Sanjay.
Prabhuji. Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
sir.
Prabhuji.
And the
This is
next one.
no.
Huh?
Dev Payana.
No, it is Dvaipayana.
Dvai Payana.
Say Dvai
Dvai
Payana.
Payana.
So Dvaipayana.
Dvai Payana. Thank you.
Next, we have, yeah, Dvaipayana means one who is born on a dvipa or an island. So Dvaipayana. Next, Radhika Leela Mataji.
Madhvacharya.
Yes, it is Madhvacharya. Hmm? Not Madhavacharya, it is Madhvacharya. Next, Rutvija Mataji.
Pandavas.
Yeah, it's Pandavash. Hmm? Next, Sanjay Mishra Prabhu.
Vayasaki.
No, we have done with that before that. Before
Falguna.
Vaiyasaki. It is
Falguna.
Falguna. Falguna.
Falguna.
Not fa. Fa.
Falguna.
Falguna, right? Falguna. Then next
Falguna.
is Vadyasakhi. We did that. The next one.
Yes.
Someone said, then say the next one. Hmm.
Yagyarthat.
Yeah, it is Yagya Arthat. Not Arthata. Yagya Arthat. You just abruptly end at the sound ta. Yagya Arthat. Next, Rasa Vihari. Then there is Rasa Vihari. There's a difference between ba and va, right? Rasa Vihari, Rasa Vihari. Then next we have the fifth row. The first word, Priyanka Mataji.
Rishikesha.
Yeah, it's Rishikesha. Rishikesha. Fine. Next, Radhika Leela Mataji.
Shikhi Mahiti.
Right is Shikhi Mahiti.
Mahiti.
Shikhi Mahiti. The next is Alapinang. Alapinang. Pratidinang. Lunthana. Fine. So now let's look at the specific padas from different verses. So I'll ask each one of you by calling your name to recite one of these padas. Let's start with the first one. So the first one, let's do Abhay Sinha Prabhu. Tell the first one. This one. Tell. Unmute yourself and
Vishni Vansa Pradipa.
try once again.
Vishni Vansha Pradipa.
Okay. Someone else try this.
Vrishni Vamsha.
It is Vrishni
Vansha
Vangsha
Pradipa.
Pradipaha.
Paha.
Pradipaha.
Pradipaha.
Right? Okay. Second line. Priyanka Mataji, try this.
Vibhara.
Priyanka Mataji. You have to unmute yourself, no, Mataji? What happened?
Prithvi. Prithvi
Prithvi.
Bhara. Naso Mukunda.
Prithvi Bhara Nasho Mukundaha.
Prabhuji, you're on mute.
I am not on mute. I am talking. Prithvi Bhara Nasho Mukundaha. Okay. Next. Hari Krishna Prabhu. The third one.
Prakrutvi swam adhishtayata.
Again try
Prakrutim
please.
swam.
It's
Prakrutim swam.
Prakriting. Don't touch your mouth
Shyam.
at the end. Prakriting.
Okay. Prakrutim.
Prakriting. Not tim.
Prakritim.
Prakriting. Swam.
Prakritim swam adhishtaya.
Adhisthaya. Adhisthaya.
Adhishtaya.
Not ya. It's Adhisthaya.
Adhishtaya.
Okay. Next. Antaranga Shaktinath.
Avismritis tvacha charanara vinde.
Again, do it better.
Avismritis tvacha charanara vinde.
Not tvacha. There's no A after cha. It's not tvacha.
Then what is it, Prajit? Ka? Is it
No,
twa?
it's cha only, but you are saying tvacha. But there is no A after cha, right? So
Right,
it
right.
is there's
Right.
a halant. There's
Right.
a halant. So how do you
Right.
pronounce that?
Avismritis tvacha charanarvinde.
It is avismritistva charanaravinda.
Charanarvinde.
You can't pause there. You can't take a break there. You can't elongate that because there is no there. So it is avismritistva charanaravinda. Even after S, you can't pause. You can't say sa because there's an halant there. So it is avismritistva charanaravinda.
Okay.
Avismritistva charanaravinda. Fine.
Yes.
Next. Sarveshwar Jagannath Prabhu.
Manda hasa
Manda hasa.
hasa muti tananandam bhujam.
Try again.
Mudit bhujam.
Try again. It's a long word, no? So you have to first break the word into small.
Mandahasa mudit tanandam bhujam.
No.
Mudit tanandam bhujam.
Mandahasa
Hasa mudit
muditananam bhujam.
tananandam
No.
tanandam bhujam.
Go letter by letter, no? Mandahasa
Mandahasa mudit
mudita.
mandanam bhujam.
There's no ananda there. Where's the? There's no ananda.
Anandam bhujam.
There's no anandam bhujam.
Anandam bhujam. Anandam.
You have to tell your tongue to pause. First look at the letter and then you pronounce what letter is seen. It is mandahasa, mudita. If you say mudita, then you say mudita nanambujam.
Anandam bhujam.
It is mudita nanam. Mudita nanambujam.
Nanam bhujam.
Mudita.
Mudita nanam bhujam.
Not nanam. It is nanam.
Nanam bhujam. Mudita nanam
Mudita
bhujam.
nanambujam. Mudita nanambujam. Right?
Mudita nanam bhujam.
So mandahasa
Mahasa
mudita.
mudita nanam bhujam.
Mandahasa mudita nanambujam.
Nanam bhujam.
Okay. Next. Radhika Leela Mataji.
आरुह्य कृच्छरेण परम पदम ततः
Aruya Krichrena. Shrena. Krichrena.
परम पदम ततः
Parang padang tataha. Parang
आरुह्य
padang tataha. Right?
कृच्छरेण परम पदम ततः
Rutvija Mataji next.
Patanti ado.
There's no patanti. There's no I there. There is Y there. Yeah.
Yado. Patantyado.
Yeah, it is patantyadho
Adrita.
nadrita
Nadrita. Yushmat angrahaya. Angrayaha.
yushmad angrayah.
Patanti yado. Andrata. Nadrata. Yushmat
Nadrita.
angrayaha. Nadrata. Yushmat angrayaha.
Tell again the whole thing.
Patantyado. Andrata. Yushmat angrayaha. Angrayaha.
It is patantyadho nadrita yushmad angrayah. Right? Patantyadho nadrita yushmad angrayah.
Patantyado. Nadrita. Yushmat angrayaha.
Next. Sanjay Prabhu.
Visama, Visaya, तोए
is Vishama. Vishama.
विषमा विसाय
Vishay. It is
विषय
Vishaya.
ओके विषमा विषय तोए मजातम अप्लवनांगं
Not Majjatam. It is Majjatam.
मज्जताम अप्लवनंग
Aplavanang.
अप्लवानम
Aplavanang.
अप्लवानंग
Vishama Vishayatoye Majjatam Aplavanang.
विषम विषये तोए मजात मज्जताम
Aplava.
अप्लवानंग
Aplavanang.
अप्लवानंग
Next. Sharada Mataji next.
क्षुद्रा रुद्र पितामह प्रभृतयः
It's not Rudra.
रुद्र ओके क्षुद्रा रुद्र पितामह प्रभृतयः कीटाः
Tell again.
कीटाः
Tell again.
क्षुद्रा रुद्र पितामह प्रभृतयः कीटाः
As Shudra Rudra Pitamaha Prabhitayah Kitaha.
प्रभृतयः कीटाः how do you say how
Kitaha.
what is the meter Prabhu like how are you
That we'll see later. Meters we'll see later. Next. Okay, Kavita Mataji.
श्रीपादधूलिः कानः
Oh no. Shri Pada.
धूलिः
Say Shri Pada.
पाद
Shri Pada.
श्रीपाद
Dhuli
धूलिः
Karnaha.
कर्णः
Shri Pada Dhuli Karnaha.
श्रीपादधूलिः कर्णः.
Yes. Okay, so we have one more slide like this for practice. So those who could not do on this, they can do now. Shweta Mataji, the first one.
सदा सदा स्वर्णाभूषि भूषितः
Sada
सदा
Shvaihi
स्वैः
Swarna
स्वर्ण
Bhushiteihi.
भूषितैः सदा
Okay.
स्वैः स्वर्ण भूषितैः
Sada Shvaihi Swarna Bhushiteihi.
सदा स्वैः स्वर्ण भूषितैः.
Okay, next. Soham Prabhu.
काकशिवन गौतमोत्रिश्च
No. What it is?
काक
Not
काकशिवन
ka, not ka. It's ka.
कक oh sorry
Kakshivan.
कक्षिवान गौतमोत्रिश्च
Motrishcha. Kakshivan Gautamotrishcha.
कक्षिवान गौतमोत्रिश्च
Okay, next. Vardhayani Mataji.
रिधि स्थम पूज्याम आस माययो पाठता विग्रहम 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 रिधि स्थम पूजयाम आस माययो पाठता विग्रहम
So it is Hridisthang Pujayamasa Mayopata Vigraham. Hridisthang Pujayamasa Mayopata Vigraham. Next. Next, Sita Mataji.
Abhyachashtanuragashrair anadibhutena chakshusha.
So it is Abhyachashtanuragashrer
Abhyashtanuragashrair
Andhibhutena Chakshusha.
andibhutena chakshusha.
Yeah. So Abhyachashtanuragashrer Andhibhutena Chakshusha. Okay, fine. Next, Aladani Gopi Mataji.
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Gudasa Gudasha Charati Risnishu.
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Gudhascharati Vishnushu.
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Gudayas Charati Vrishnishu.
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam, not Lokam. Lokam
Lokan
Gudhascharati Vishnushu.
Gudash Charati Vishnushu.
Okay, next one. Let's do quickly. Eka Prema Mataji.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hmm.
He Martya
Not he.
Prana
We are not reading English here. Sanskrit. Change the language. It's Sanskrit here. So it
Am
is.
I audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you are audible. It's not he. What it is? Hmm?
Hare Krishna.
Yes. It's not he. What? How do you pronounce that?
Her.
Not her.
He.
Huh?
He Martya
It is he.
Prana Hitam.
He martyah paramam hitang.
He Martya Paramam Hitam.
He martyah paramam hitang. Okay, next. Someone else who could not chant so far, want to try? Request all of you to kindly keep your video cameras on and then participate in the session. Right? If your video is off for some time during the class, that's okay, but it should not be off during the entire class. What is the next one? Someone please.
Can I try?
Yes, Nirupama Mataji.
Can I try?
Yeah, try.
Shrunata, Shrunata wo vakshami संक्षेपतः.
Shrunuta vo vakshyami sankshepatah. Shrunuta vo vakshyami.
Okay, Shrunata wo vakshami संक्षेपतः.
Yeah. So it is Shrunata. Shrunata vo vakshyami sankshepatah. Next. Angsa rarnavam apada urmi bahulang samyak. The next. Pranama sahitang pravartayadhang muhu. And the last one. Jighangsayapayayadhyapyasadvi. Fine. Okay, so we learn to pronounce the letters. We learn to pronounce the words. Now we'll not go very much in detail, only a short, exercise on chanda, then we'll stop. So what is chanda? Chanda refers to prosody. Right? There are 26 commonly known chandas given by Pingala. And it's kind of a meter. So it's kind of a discipline in the poem. There are these 26 chandas with their different names. Ukta, Atyukta, Madhya, Pratishta, Supratishta, Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup, Prihati, Pankti, Trishtup, like that. In Bhagavad Gita, we have most of the verses in Anushtup chanda, you know. So what is this number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the syllables. When a verse is written, generally it is written in 4 quarters, right? You know that first line, second line, third line, fourth line. That's called pada. So there's Chatushpada. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So each that pada should have these many syllables only. If it is Anushtup Chanda, each pada should have 8 syllables only. If it is Trishtup Chanda, then it should have 11 syllables only. Okay. So then there are some verses which have many, many syllables. So they are the long ones. Like you have, Austerity and other also. So we will here, I'll go very quickly here. So actually, this will take long time to understand. Okay. I think we'll do it in the next class because it will take time. It will not be so easy to finish now. We'll do it in the next class. Maybe first 30 minutes or 45 minutes of the class we can talk about this chandas. So we'll stop here. Any questions from what we learned today? I'll send the sheets which you can use for practice of pronunciation of letters. Chandas will be in the next class. And then we'll start with the study of Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Shweta Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Next class I will be more presentable. Uh, 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 Prabhuji, just want to know, like, yeah, we understood something. Yeah, like to spell like this, spell like this. But in we are not so qualified to study shastras with this perfectly as you speak. So what is it for that?
That's why Srila Prabhupada wrote the books in English. No? They were originally in Sanskrit, but then he wrote in English, and then some devotees translated in other languages so that we could study them. So knowing Sanskrit is not the criterion for studying the scriptures or understanding the scriptures and applying the scriptures in life, right? That's not the criterion. It's just that we're trying. But then if you can't do it after practicing for a long time, that's okay, no problem. But if you can do, then very nice. Like Prabhupada said, you try to offer best to Krishna. So this is also practice to make your pronunciation better. And if you practice, then you practice anything, you can become better than before. It's a matter of practice. Like today's first session, and you might not have studied it in this way before. So you're practicing. If you practice like this, over the years, maybe after 5, 6 years, you will also pronounce very nicely. Who knows? Right? It's a matter of practice, isn't it? It's a matter of practice. So it's not that you will not be able to do it. You will be able to do it, but it will take some time. It will take some practice. And as I said, the most important thing is you learn the individual letters. You try to remember that sound. And then whenever you read, don't be negligent. Don't be lazy. When you come across a word, pronounce it properly. Yeah. Fine. So let's not be lazy in pronouncing it properly. That's all. So if you try to do that, then that sound, if it is possible for us to make that sound, then we can definitely do it nicely. If you have never learned to pronounce that sound since your birth, then maybe it is difficult. Like people born in Russia, they cannot pronounce some letters because from their childhood they are not taught to pronounce those letters. Those letters don't exist in their language, so therefore they cannot pronounce. But if you are born in India, And then you can definitely pronounce those letters. Fine. And this is just to help us learn the recitation better. It's got nothing to do with the study of the books as such much. Sharada Mataji.
Prabhu, what is the difference between an N with a dot on top and an M with a dot on top? They sound very similar.
M and N. So yeah, so then when you say N with a dot, so that sound is coming from your throat through the mouth. Ganga, Ganga, Gang. Say Gang.
Gang, Ganga,
So yeah,
Gang,
vibration here you say Gang,
Gang, Gang.
right?
Yeah, like here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you say Angshu, Angshu, so that sound is coming from the nose. Angshu, Angshu,
Ang,
Angshu, or
Angshu,
Angsh,
Ang.
Angshu. So that
Yeah,
sound is coming from your nose. It's a nasal sound. Angshu,
Angshu. Mhm.
Angshu, Angshu.
Okay,
So
Angshu.
it produces that humming sound. That
Yeah,
humming Angshu,
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 Angshu.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Kangsa, right? Kangsari. So there's a
Yeah,
humming.
yeah. Okay.
The N with the dot, M with the dot is nasal, and N with the dot is from the throat,
Throat.
from the.
Hare Kripa Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, same question. M with the dot below. We cannot mouth we close, right? If it's that same with all alphabetics or like
You don't
nursing.
have a dot. You don't have a dot in all the alphabets, no? You have
Yeah,
dot
yes,
only
yes, bro.
in some of the alphabets. So
Okay.
wherever you get M with a dot, which is called Anusvara, then you should make that sound from the nose. Like, for example, Narasing, it's not Narasimha, not Narasimha, Narasim. It's a ma, then you touch the lips, Narasim. It's Narsingha, Narsingha,
Nursing.
uh, Narsingha. So that sound is coming from your nose, Narsing, right?
Yes, bro.
And then that is also not the most exact pronunciation because it is not Nara, it's Nri.
Nursing.
Yeah, it's Nrisingha, Nrisingha, right?
Yes.
But then it's okay. We are just trying to learn the language properly. However, even if you're not able to pronounce properly, that's okay. It's understandable that you are meaning the same person you're calling. So that's okay. Not very. In fact, in India, you go to northern part of India, some people pronounce Sanskrit in a certain manner. You go to southern part of India, they pronounce the same Sanskrit in a different manner. So it is said that sometimes because of being born in a certain place and because of having a background of a certain language, what you are saying may not be pronounced properly or exactly. But then, if your intention, the meaning is clear what you want to say, that meaning is accepted, not the sound that you make. You know, like for example, if you say Narasimha, and now you want to point out to Lord Narasimha, so that's okay. That's fine. If it's even if you pronounce it that way, it's taken. It's okay. Any other question? So we stop here. See you next week. Hare Krishna.